new episode of Baking with Caroline and her mom. I'm Caroline, that's Mom.
Hi there.
Today we're making classic crumb cake.
Mm-hmm.
We watched people make some delicious coffee cake and we wanted to make our own, so.
Mm-hmm.
So first we're going to start with the crumb.
Yes, we are.
Walk me through it.
This is going to be the topping, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we need a bowl, and we want to put in it 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon.
With our ridiculous amount of ground cinnamon.
Which hardly has anything left in
Yeah,
it.
it's basically empty. Teaspoon? Not tablespoon.
Teaspoon. And 1/2 teaspoon of coarse salt, it says.
Regular salt?
I think so, because, you know, the coarse salt, it stays in its little...
Salt. But it's a crumb, so maybe little pockets of salty flavor.
That's a good point. Yeah, okay. We'll do that.
Okay. It's okay to put a cinnamony thing in here, right?
Oh, yeah. We're not purists.
Okay.
And 1/2 cup of light brown sugar.
Packed?
Packed, yeah.
Brown sugar is generally packed?
I would say probably I've never seen a recipe where it wasn't packed.
But sometimes it doesn't say it.
I think you can assume it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Your favorite part. Tap, tap, tap.
Tap, 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 dot, dot, dot.
Oh, it was wet, right?
No, I had brown sugar in it.
All right.
Okay. 1.5 cups of brown sugar. Of all-purpose flour.
Really? And it calls for 12 tablespoons of butter at room temperature. So we remember that 2 tablespoons is 1 ounce. So 12 tablespoons is...
6 ounces.
Yay, math genius.
I think this is not...
You
It's
better...
not in a form where it can go onto the weigh thing. Can you have me some parchment paper? I'll get some parchment paper. You know, it's not in an easily pick-upable form.
Because it's summer and
room temperature is much warmer.
yeah, you said it. Yeah. Oh, you need to do that, huh? With a spoon.
I'm not gonna touch it with my hand.
And there, one of our fans recently told me that she's proud of you changing and growing. Oh, it's on grams, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yay. And make sure it's not on fleur.
Nope, it's on lubes.
Lubes.
12 ounces, you said.
No.
6 ounces.
Yeah.
12 tablespoons. That's a little bit. That's only 1. It's gonna be all this butter.
Uh-oh.
That's only 3.
My goodness. I guess when you think about it, 6 ounces is...
That's a lot of butter. 6.1?
Sure.
We don't need butter for the cake, do we? I think we do. With the cream, butter, and...
I don't see any butter. It's got eggs and sour cream in it.
Okay.
Phew. Oh, wait, no, 10 tablespoons.
The butter?
5 ounces.
Okay, we managed to secure the butter that we need for the cake. So now we're doing what? Cutting it in?
Cutting it in with the pastry blender, which it's kind of odd because the pastry blender, well, A, it's not pastry, and B, it's a softened butter.
Yeah.
So just let's see what happens when you do that.
I feel like what happens is you just cut straight through the butter.
Yeah, and you push it into the flour in the usual way, yeah. Oh, you're getting to be a dab hand at
I'm a
that.
very good pastry blender.
Yeah, we could hire you out.
I could probably whip some cream too.
No, we'll have to
Although
try that. Why would you?
why does anybody whip cream from scratch?
Oh well, because it tastes better actually, and it doesn't have all that.
But you know, even if you're whipping your own cream, there are devices.
Oh,
like,
that's true. There are devices.
you
Yeah.
need to use a whisk.
Yeah. Why don't you scrape down the blades a bit? I'm sure they're quite mucky.
They're not that
Right?
bad actually.
Oh,
They're
okay.
better They're better than if it's cold.
Oh.
Because it just slides right through.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
But this time we're not aiming to get flakiness,
We want
right?
crumb.
Yeah, so that's why we're not using cold. How's it looking?
So we want some chunks then, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Pea-sized chunks, let's say.
Okay. I think we're almost there then.
Okay. We'll come and take a look.
Okay. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, that looks pretty good to me.
Okay.
Yeah? Uh-huh. Okay, so we put that to one side.
Okay.
And the next step
It's the cake.
is the cake.
Okay, so we've got out our trusty stand mixer. We have prepped our pan. The recipe says a 9-inch square pan, but we're going to use a 8.5-inch springform.
And we did math.
Well, the internet did math for us.
Okay.
We Googled, and then Google did the math.
That's like doing math these
We're
days.
just doing the math.
Yeah.
And now we're going to set the oven. What temperature, Ma?
Oh, wait, explain why
Oh.
we did the math.
Because a square and round are different. You can't fit a square peg into a round hole.
Exactly. Thank you. Just, yeah.
350?
350 temperature setting.
Yeah. Unlike someone who always sets the timer by accident. Okay.
All right, so now we're going to make a cake.
Cake.
So we're using 10 tablespoons of butter this time, which is 5 ounces. Here's some we prepared earlier.
I feel like Martha Stewart.
That'll be the
No, but
day.
she would have churned her own butter, right?
Yeah, she would have. So 5 ounces, 10 tablespoons of softened butter. And a bunch of sugar. Let's see how much.
Giving up on that scraper.
Are you? 1 cup.
1 cup of granulated sugar.
That's the stuff.
Granulated sugar.
Ooh. Hang on, I'm just thinking about the level of the sugar there.
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we're going to cream that together until it's light and fluffy.
You all know how creaming works, so you don't have to watch the whole thing this time, I think.
Okay, so Caroline, you got a bit alarmed during the creaming process.
Yeah, it wasn't behaving the way that I have come to expect creaming butter and sugar to behave. It wasn't like spreading out, it was clumping together and kind of flopping around the bowl. But then we gave it an extra 2 minutes, and now it looks the way I expected it to look. And we think it might be because the butter was so much softer than usual. So it didn't have the resistance. Or it was like oilier. I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think it looks right now.
Okay, good. So now we're going to add 3 eggs one at a time,
Just gonna scratch.
which means, beating in after each addition of an egg.
Like making sure that first egg is fully incorporated before you
Yeah.
add another egg.
That's the stuff. Do we need to look?
No,
Okay.
it looks like cream butter and sugar.
Yeah, we've done this before.
I scraped along the bottom because remember last time we were talking about how sometimes the very, very bottom doesn't get
Yeah.
mixed in. Okay, so 1 egg at a time, you say. Getting warm.
I started doing this technique of Caroline's of banging on the counter instead of on the side of the bowl, and I have to say that, you can teach an old dog new tricks, because I think that's a much better.
Yeah, because when you bang it on the side of something, it pushes the shells in. I don't know what I saw that on, but... Okay, and then we're whipping it in.
Yeah.
Because this is about introducing air. But it doesn't take as long as creaming, right?
Right,
We're not-
and we're scrape down each time.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of, you could almost call it a second creaming step.
Yeah, but with eggs.
Yeah. Oh, the oven is ready. We're not.
I
We will
did
be
think
still.
it was getting hot in here.
You did.
That didn't work as well.
But don't you think you push the bits of the shell in with your
Yeah, but
fingers?
I have control of it then.
Okay. And your fingers aren't as hard as. She looks so professional doing that. Wow.
It's really satisfying.
do. The next thing to add is a teaspoon of vanilla, but let's look and see what it's shaping up like in
Come
here.
see, guys. It looks really good.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
It
Lots
does.
of
It's
air.
so smooth. Look at that. Yeah. Good job, mixer. Both machine and human. Just so we're clear.
I was going to say all of the credit. Fine, you're good too, mixer. Okay. So a full tablespoon of vanilla.
Teaspoon.
Definitely listen. I totally always listen a lot. Okay, mix that in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're going to we're going to use a separate bowl to mix the dry ingredients before putting them in.
Push
Yeah.
this aside, although I'm
Yeah.
going to scrape it first.
Good idea. Oops, sorry. I was looking with my
You're
eyes.
looking with your eyes at something else entirely.
Sorry.
I like it. People should play a drinking game where they can figure out whether you're looking at the recipe or not from where the camera's pointing.
Maybe I should point the camera at the recipe. Okay, so yeah,
How many? 1.5? 2.5?
no, 2.5.
Oh, I'm hot!
Oh,
I like that you're like, I'm fine.
damn.
Okay.
A teaspoon each of bicarb and baking powder. Bicarb, of course, is another name for baking soda.
Bicarbonate soda
Yeah.
because of the 2 carbonates in it.
No, the 2 carbon atoms. I don't know. It's science. Sorry. Oh dear, we should never go scientific.
So,
One of those.
I can tell you like the source of the word, but I couldn't tell you why.
From the Latin, and bi meaning
Why?
2.
Soda meaning soda.
You are using a teaspoon, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
See? Tablespoon, half teaspoon.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
And a 1/4 teaspoon of ordinary salt.
It's going to be cinnamon in all of the salt.
Oh, it's okay.
And then with a whisk.
Was that a half teaspoon?
No, it's a 1/4 teaspoon.
Okay. Yeah, whisk to,
It was a half teaspoon. It was a half teaspoon.
Oh boy.
Scoop. It will be salty. You like salt.
Yes. Okay, whisk the dry ingredients together.
Or at least once a thing, it's the wrong measurement.
There's always the wrong something,
Yeah.
right? And I think people who watch look forward to that.
Subtitles.
But we're not doing it
What
on
did they
purpose.
forget this time?
Thanks. I'm sorry, I'm jiggling the camera. We have to measure out the sour cream now.
Ah,
1 1/4 cups. And if we don't have quite enough, you can always put a bit of Greek yogurt in.
okay.
And it won't change the, use the, use the,
Liquid, but it's not a liquid.
well, it kind
I
of
think it's
is.
closer to a solid than a liquid.
Well, you still need to put it in a separate bowl, so.
Oh, it's not going in here?
No.
How many bowls does this recipe require?
It's a cake. Cakes are fussy. We're lucky that this isn't, fussier.
Okay, so 1 1/4 cups.
Yes,
This is the one that has 1/4 cup measurements.
good. See, it's kind of runny.
We just had a debate about the state of matter of sour cream.
That's right.
Is it solid? Is it a liquid? Is it maybe a gas?
But it's not any of those. It's kind of in between a solid and a liquid.
It's a non-Newtonian fluid.
Yeah, we just invented a new
No, that's
new
the thing.
state.
Non-Newtonian fluid.
Oh, is it? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Like things that are solid when there's sound happening and they're liquid when it's not happening. Have you seen those? I saw it in
No.
July. So they put this liquid on a speaker.
On top of a.
Yeah, on top of And then when you turn the speaker on, it turns into little solid balls.
Science is amazing.
It is.
Okay, what does it look like there? Just quick.
It's a little bit shy of a quarter of a cup.
Well, then you need to use a tad of plain Greek yogurt.
Okay.
Make sure you're on a quarter.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Okay, we're good.
All right.
It's not liquid enough to...
No, but it's still, you know, that's, what was the guy, the Eureka guy? You have a...
The guy that sat up in his bathtub and yelled Eureka.
Yes. See the way this is,
Oh, right, displacement of fluid. Of liquid.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Yes, the displacement of fluid.
Like when he got into his bath and the water overflowed.
Right, so you can tell from the line on the side that it is actually that much.
Yeah.
Even though there's that hump in the middle.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to get back to the...
Recipe.
And also back to the mixer.
Ah.
We have these 3 different things that we're going to amalgamate. So it just says here, add reserved flour, mixture, and sour cream. And stir until just combined. I guess we don't have to do separate.
So sour cream can
I would put the sour cream straight in, yeah. And then put the flour in after that.
And all at once, we don't have to do it.
Yeah, but I would mix in the...
Mix the sour cream in first, though. Because it's not going to weigh it down the way the flour does. Right? Because what I know about cake making is you introduce all this air into the sugar, butter, eggs, and then gently add in the flour because the flour collapses the air.
Yes, so you're just going to use the lowest setting on the mixer to mix in that sour cream.
Okay, so the sour cream also, it doesn't get any, it won't add air. You can't whip sour cream.
No.
I feel like you probably could.
Yeah, whether it would make a difference, we don't know. Okay, it doesn't have to be, yeah, and then just,
Dump this in.
yes, but
Scrape it down first step.
I would do so. And also you need to do the usual semi-incorporation with a spatula so we don't get a flour explosion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting quite full now.
Which would make it more prone to exploding. Oops. Ruh-roh.
It wasn't much.
Okay.
It's just hard to...
I know. I know. It is for right-handed people too. Be assured. No, but if it affects right-handers too, then it is a design flaw.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice if this like flopped up or something.
Yeah, right-hand privilege.
But I'm sure they're like, you can just take it off of its stand.
Yes, well, you would just, or yes, you could do that, or you could take, yes, that would be a little easier than taking off the beater, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Gross. Okay.
What do you think? Do you need to put a towel over top?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stir it up again. Oh.
Stop!
And they have, well, it's too late now. That was it. And it says till just combined, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Come look, Mom. Tell me what you think.
All right, coming.
Oh, it smells good. Sour creamy.
Okay, I'm looking with the camera.
I'll hold the camera.
Thank you. Oh, that looks just lovely. Oh, there's some, you can look in the bottom. Look in the bottom. Can you see there's some flour in the very bottom?
Yes.
Yeah, so we need to...
But you can just stir that in with the spatula, right? We don't have to remix with the mixer.
Right. I expect we'd like me to turn it out into the pan because of the left-handed problem.
Okay, so we're moving, we're switching.
Sure.
I'm sidling this way towards where the fan has been blowing on Mother the whole time. Oh, yeah.
That's nice, right? I wasn't expecting to appear today, so...
You look cute.
Oh, yeah, thanks. There's a lot of it, right?
Yeah, it's huge. And it smells like nice and sour creamy. So if you wanted to make like a swirl with this, could you?
Yeah, I think you'd probably just mix together some cinnamon and some brown sugar.
And then just plop some in and swirl it around with a toothpick or something.
Yeah, halfway.
Do we want?
Fill it halfway.
Uh-huh.
Sprinkle on the...
Uh-huh.
Then put the rest on, and then swirl.
And then swirl, okay.
Otherwise, the swirl wouldn't go to the bottom.
Yeah, it'll just be a line in the middle.
Yeah. Okay.
She's a much more thorough scraper than I.
Well, I think it's because I'm not cumbered with the whole left hand problem.
And also the whole everything feels gross problem. But like, I don't want to get my to touch my hand
Honestly,
problem.
I have to apologize to you for 38 years that I haven't fully appreciated.
That it's an actual
thing.
It's not just like, oh, she doesn't want to get dirty. It's actually like, oh, she thinks this is really gross.
No, it's more the left-handed thing.
Oh, the handed thing, yeah. Yeah, you learn to live. You learn to live. You learn how to use right-handed scissors and kick the ball right-handed.
And knit.
And knit. Well, but I learned from Dad, so I do knit backwards.
I taught your dad, and he just sat across from me. So
you're just plopping it in. You're making sure not to move the
I'm trying not to.
parchment. Do you need the offset spatula?
No, I don't think so.
Look at her using her finger. Oh, God, it's so gross.
But look, hardly anything's getting on my finger. Okay, we're trying to...
You want it to be smooth? Because we have to put the crumble on.
Yeah.
And the crumble goes right on right when you put it in the oven. You don't have to put it in separately.
Okay, it's going on before we put it in the oven.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not doing a very good job.
It's very
flattening.
one-sided. Do you need the offset spatula on?
Okay. I'll get it.
It's just the easiest way, right? Offset spatula is magic. If you want to get a foodie in your life a present and they don't already have one, offset spatula.
Yeah,
they're not hard to find.
they're cheap.
You can get different sizes. They're really good for icing. Sometimes they're called icing knives.
Yeah, I think I got this one as an icing knife and then discovered it had all this
It was versatile.
additional functionality. Well, what do you think now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. So do you want to put the crumbs on?
No, you can do it. For the proportion, you know? You've made this before. I assume.
Yeah, but you just... yeah.
I assume.
I have.
Okay. So we'll go action shot of crumbs being put on. Ooh, oh, it's a lot. And you put it all on?
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's a crumb cake.
Uh-huh. Hence the name.
Mm-hmm.
Gee, how it's going to fit.
You just dump it.
This might be...
More crumb than cake.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
when it expands, the crumb should solidify enough that it won't just fall out and burn the oven, or should we cook it on a tray?
Oh, well. Let's take our chances, shall we?
And you push it down?
I'm patting it gently.
Gingerly pat it down.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
In
Into the oven she goes.
Okay.
And then the instructions said 50 to 60 minutes.
Timer 55.
All right, we'll see you in 55 minutes, guys. Okay, so we've still got 2 minutes left, but it's starting to smell pretty cooked. So Mom thinks we should take a look. Pull it out. Oh!
Look at that, baby.
I think it needs a little more.
I don't know. Poke the poker in.
Poke the poker in.
In
Right
the
in the
middle.
middle?
Yeah. Yeah, it needs more time. Another 5,
I
maybe.
don't think that was just from the
Well, that was
crumb?
just from the crumb. Try again
Yeah.
in that same hole then.
Okay, yeah, no, see?
Yeah.
Goopy.
5, maybe?
Yeah, and I think the crumb can solidify a little more too.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. Hi guys! So, we've finally taken it out of the oven. It was in for about an hour and a half. We tested it like 15 times. You can see all the many holes that we poked with it. But Mom has declared that it's done now. Yay! We think that either our oven needs to be recalibrated or the humidity really affected its baking, or because we put it in a round pan. Anyway, it's now done, so we're going to let it cool in the tin for 5 minutes and then take the outside off of it and let it cool further. And then you'll see us try it in a little bit.
Yeah.
Hi! So we're going to finally eat it. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's still warm.
Yeah, it's quite the cake.
It's solid. It was heavy.
All right, here we go.
Which one are you eating? This one or that one?
I'm going to eat this one.
Mostly crumb. That's what that was.
I took cake and it's moist and rich and really yummy.
Yep.
How are the crumbs?
Oh, they're over there. Look. Crumb's pretty good. Not too sweet, which is nice. Yeah, I think the swirl would have maybe. I think you were right about the swirl.
Would have been excessive?
No, would have kicked it up a notch.
Oh.
A good coffee cake.
But, you know, we did have our issues. And it's not too salty, right?
It's not, even though I put double the amount of salt in. Yep. It was a tricky bake though. Like we checked it probably like 6 or 7 times and kept putting it back in for 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
I'm going to have to see about the oven temperature. But it's yummy.
It has turned out quite well, and now we have a giant cake. Okay, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.